Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another December edition of Prop Stars. Got my boy TJ over here to my right. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for being here. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. TJ, we got stuff to talk about, man. Of course, there's some historic stuff going on in the NBA. We got NFL matchups abound. Survivor was put to bed. We already know that. But let's begin with one of the top storylines of the weekend. You know, they say in college football that the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry is so big that if you're a Michigan coach and you can't beat Ohio State, you got to figure out something to beat. I mean, I don't know. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about their coach and you break it down, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, they stole the headlines, right? Ohio State's a number 2 seed. They got spanked in the Big Ten, but whatever. Big Ten championship. But now Michigan is here to steal the headlines. So I didn't know this, and we didn't know this.
Okay.
But supposedly Sherrone is not an amazing family man. And there have been whispers going around for years about his misconduct. And now they finally had to put an axe to it because he got caught ordering abortion pills off a DoorDash. And I guess the DoorDash guy recognized him. But let's start from the beginning.
You're over here playing B in it through you're so busy. You're like Uber eating, playing
Well, I guess
B?
if you think about it, he can't go in and buy it. He'll be noticed, right? And she might have been like, I want to keep the baby if I'm going to have the abortion, because it's not even a Plan B thing anymore. It's an abortion pill, right? That you could take, I think, up to like 6 weeks. And if you take it, like Plan B, from what I understand, you have to take it within a day or two of the event, right?
Okay.
So he gets caught having an affair, misconduct.
I mean, I guess a pill's better than the alternative.
It is. Yeah. Definitely. He gets caught having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, right? And she's young. She's young, like definitely low. She's not underage, but 20, 21, somewhere around there.
She's a staffer, right?
Her dad, she's an assistant. She also makes almost double all the other assistants in that building. She makes 90 grand. And they're saying that she got that bump because of the affair, right? Her dad is an executive scout for the Chicago Bears. So as a man, has 2 young daughters, even though there's misconduct here, I feel really bad for her. She fell for a father of 3, a married man, the head coach of Michigan, right? He's the god of that campus. And he obviously has a god complex because what are you doing? You're a family man of 3. You have the dream job.
So disappointing, dude.
And you have to work so hard. But that is not where it went completely downhill, because we all know coaches have had affairs, Bobby Petrino, and they can come back.
Sure.
He had the meltdown when he's driving around the town, I guess, and he hears from some of his coaches that there's an all-only coaches meeting, and he's not invited. At this only coaches meeting, they were told they're firing the head coach because of cause. He finds this out, goes back home, argues with his wife, and threatens to kill himself. He barges out the house. She calls the cops. He's heading towards the girl he had the inappropriate relationship with, holds a knife to her throat, and tries to assault or kill her. The cops come and break it up. He's still in jail. I'm assuming he's going to get bail, but he could have just had the affair, sat quiet, sitting on his $10 to $20 million he has, and wait 3 to 5 years and come back as a coach.
Fired, you move on, all that, bro.
Yeah,
see you later.
He could have came back and coached at North Dakota State or something like that.
Sure.
Right? But now, I mean, what do you do from here? You wanted to kill yourself now. Now what are you going to do after you threatened to kill somebody else? And supposedly this young woman, and we won't name her name for obvious reasons, but it's out there on the internet if you want to see it. She did not want to have the abortion.
Go Fighting Sue.
She did not want to, and he was stalking her supposedly because I don't know why, but I have a feeling it's because of this abortion thing. That's all skepticism.
Right.
But it's not a good look. I have a feeling unfortunately, this is going to be the tip of the iceberg, and the athletic director and maybe even the president will come next, because you find out last night through Scott Van Pelt that this was not, there were rumblings for months and months and months that this might be going down. The guy's 39 years old, and it's like, what are you doing? You have like, you're going to get caught.
Literally just watched his whole
You have a beautiful wife. It's the premier coaching job in all of sports. I mean, it's crazy how great you have it at Michigan. Harbaugh built that thing, and now Michigan's getting targeted. Everyone's saying everyone's a cheater there. The athletic director knew for a while. This is a scandal of epic proportions. I don't know how it's going to affect, recruiting and all that stuff, because Michigan is a brand of its own. And I know a lot of Michigan fans weren't in love with Sherrone more. You know what I mean? He wasn't I know Dave Portnoy wasn't a fan of him really. And there's a lot of big Michigan boosters that weren't really behind him. So who knows how long he would have been there, but you would have been a coach for the rest of your life, living a cush, and you can't keep it in your pants, buddy. It's
not only that, but he ascended to the Michigan job. So you're there in the big circle, and you don't know where you could end up letting the course take its place. That's unbelievable, dude. That really is. And I think that when you're looking at this, you need swift justice, and you got to sit there and obviously stay in front of it, as Michigan should. And they need to go ahead and just sever ties, let it all go. Like you said, we're going to hear from everything. And that's absolutely unacceptable. You can't do stuff like that, man.
And like I said, Michigan
can't beat Ohio State, so he ends up beating his future pregnant.
The thing is, they beat Ohio State last year.
Baby
mama, and Ohio State,
I know.
It's crazy to think the butterfly effect here, right? This is a totally different topic, but Michigan beat Ohio State last year. Last year was the first year they went to a 12-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan beats Ohio State last year. Ohio State fans are calling for Day's head, right? They do not want him to be the head coach.
Right.
If it's a 4-team playoff last year, Ohio State doesn't get in, and Day, I forget his first name because I always say Jason Day.
It's not Jason Day, right?
Yeah. Day gets fired last year after the Michigan game. That's 100% confirmed. He would have been fired. And then they would not have made the playoffs. So he would have been fired. And Ohio State makes it last year. They win the championship. Now Day's got a coaching job for life.
Yep.
He won't be the Wu-Tang. You're right. He's not the first coach to cheat on his wife, but I think he's the first coach to threaten to kill himself and then go hold the knife to his
knife to her throat.
Inappropriate, the relation, his soon-to-be baby mama's, neck.
It's just unbelievable, dude. You're 39 years old. You're made to take this kind of pressure, man. You're a major sports coach. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
And also, it doesn't. Yeah, and it's also, this is a guy that, and these are just the rumors, but rumors usually come out to be true. This is not a guy that's learning from his mistakes either, right? It's not like he slipped up once. And
yeah, we always talk about that. Can you learn from your mistakes? Are you going to get a second chance?
Yeah,
we'd love to give you a second chance, and we love to sit there and see a comeback story, right? But when you're just a piece of shit like this, and you're just flaming out, and
don't cheat on your wife and ruin your kids' lives, and then threaten to kill yourself. I mean, at least man up, stand there on the podium, and say, "I'm a dishonest man. I want to work on myself."
Yeah,
but don't take the easy way out. Now you already ruined your family. Now you're going to take away your kids, dad, because you can't keep your dick in your pants.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
Me neither.
But
what a story, man! That thing that it came out and is just absolutely unbelievable.
Oh, it rocked the world. And Portnoy came out. Dave Portnoy came out right away and said, "Well, this is what happens when you don't make the playoffs." Because he did it. We didn't know. We literally, everybody following the news thought he got fired because they always kind of knew he wasn't the guy. But since Harbaugh left, they just kind of it was like the next man up kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You didn't want to disrupt it. You don't want to bring in, I would say most coaches that leave off a national championship are just going to bring the next guy up. You don't want to disrupt it too much because you want to try to get another championship with that regime. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. I get it. Well, we are talking about college football playoffs. Let's just go ahead and segue right into that. You
Yeah.
got 12 teams, 4 teams on a bye, 8 teams playing. There is James Madison University and Tulane, right? These are the 2 teams that everyone's expecting to get the ass whooped. But this is, I think, what I just said. I think it's great for the playoff if one of these teams can somehow pull off an upset. Who do you think has a better chance, JMU, or do you think Tulane has a better shot?
No, yeah, Wu-Tang. I'm a Giant fan. I might actually have my Giant shirt on. I'm a Giant fan here. It's a little chilly up here, down here in Orlando today, so I am wearing the first jacket I found after taking my kids to school. But the college football committee, I know they got forced to put James Madison in, and they got forced to put Tulane in. Ones that we talked about it, both 2 to 3 touchdown favorites or underdogs, right? Yeah, but it would be good for college football if they keep these games close. Now, a lot of people are saying when we watch March Madness, you see 13 and 14 seeds beat the 3 and 4 seeds all the time. We've seen a couple 2s beat 15 seeds. I think maybe once a 16 beat a 1, 15 beat 2. Yep. But the problem is obviously with these teams usually is the trenches, right? They just can't compete with the trenches. Now, James Madison, I've heard, they put a lot of offensive linemen into the NFL. So they might not be as inept as we think when it comes to trenches. But usually
you're going to have your O-line stand up to that pressure because
it's just usually an undersized thing. Like
you're just playing Oregon, right? I mean,
it's usually a bigger, faster, stronger thing.
I know Sean Overman's a huge Oregon fan. Overman, please don't bet this game. Just let it go. Don't.
Yeah, I don't think he's betting Oregon here. I don't think that Oregon has looked amazing this year. But I also think that some people are saying, since nobody's been great this year, I mean, we've seen Ole Miss look good, but not great. They've looked good, but there's not one team this year that's dominant. We thought maybe Ohio State was that team, but they did not look good against Indiana.
They did.
I don't know. They say that
might be a testament to Indiana and how nasty they are, though. Obviously,
Indiana's a a good team too. But I just think that besides these 2 teams, all 10 have a chance to win it. Alabama, Oklahoma is not. Yeah, but Wu-Tang, if you watch Indiana play, I mean, I've watched a lot of great teams play.
They don't look like
over the last 35 years of watching college football. There is not this team. These teams are not dominant. This isn't going to be where we just see we haven't seen a 12-team playoff for only 2 years, but none of these teams are great. I think it's a lot to do with the NIL, to be honest with you, which is good. It spreads it out a lot more.
Get a lot of star players making that money somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of star players would go automatically to Ohio State, but guess what? Maybe some of them jump to Indiana.
Because they can go start.
Yeah, they go play, paid. Right? Mendoza wouldn't play for Ohio State.
Right.
Now he gets to showcase his talent. You never know which quarterback, who's going to be good until you put him on the field, but Mendoza would not have played for Ohio State. But
you got anything else to say about the playoffs?
You have Miami at Texas A&M. As a Hurricane fan, I'm really excited for this. You have the Texas A&M offensive linemen saying they don't respect Bain. They're not game planning for him. They're not worried about him. He's going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL. He's pretty good. I haven't seen that amazing Jadeveon Clowney, Myles Garrett vibe with Ruben Bain, but he's good enough where he's one of the best defensive players in college football.
Well, the winner of that game goes on to play Ohio State, so that's going to be a marquee matchup right there into that next round. I'm really looking forward to whoever plays Ohio State. A&M and Miami both look formidable. Yeah, I think I don't know, bro. If I were to bet this, I just bet the favorites and move on. That's all I would do. I wouldn't care. It's enough to start to percolate your interest, but I'm more excited to kind of see how it shakes out, see what happens, and then see what the next matchups are. College football, obviously, I just want to know the stars that are coming out so I can draft them in fantasy. That's all I care about when it comes to my own personal stake and interest.
Star Spangled says Miami's one and done. Star Spangled, did you just watch the South Carolina Texas A&M game? They were down 24 points. Texas A&M isn't blowing out anybody. That is not a great football team. Miami is not an amazing football team either. But to think that Miami's just going to get blown out, where they haven't gotten blown out all year, they've lost 2 games, both to 8-4 teams. Louisville, they lost to, just beat Kentucky 41-0. ACC, thanks for joining us, guy. I love your show, buddy. I think that Miami is just as good as Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama, Georgia. And that's not saying Miami's great. That's just saying those other teams are very average. I watched that Georgia-Bama game. I watched every play of that game. There is nothing popping out. And baby Jesus for the Hurricanes, he's a South Florida guy through and through. Yep. Our loyal listener, Kevin Walsh, has been sending me stuff about him since he's been in 8th grade. He came up through South Florida. He's a stud. He can play quarterback, slot receiver, running back. I agree, Zandy. Notre Dame should have been in. Bama should have been out. Bama got embarrassed in the SEC championship game. They embarrassingly barely beat Auburn, and Auburn handed them the game. Auburn lost to another ACC school, FSU. FSU beat them pretty handily. FSU has a losing record. Alabama should be out. Notre Dame should be in. But that's what Notre Dame gets for not only not being in a conference, but to schedule that soft down the stretch. You're just not going to get rewarded. That's it.
100%, man. Well, that's a little bit of college football talk. Obviously, we'll be moving on. So you want to jump in NBA? Or you want to start breaking down games real quick?
Yeah, talk about NBA really quick. OKC 24-1. Yeah, OKC's 24-1.
Best record since the Golden State Warriors team.
Yeah,
right?
And it's a little different now though than Golden State. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yes, they're both 24-1. The margin of victory is huge.
It's like 17 is the game. Last year they broke the record at 12 points, and they pushed it another 5 points further, right?
Not only are they blowing teams out, when they were 5-1 or 10-1 or 14-1, I'm like, okay, well, let's see how it goes. Now we're looking at one of the greatest teams of all time. They have been doing this without their second best player for almost the whole season, right? Jalen Williams. Now he's healthy. Now he's been back for a few games, and they look unstoppable. And the reason why I think they're going to break the record pretty easily is because most teams have the championship hangover, right? And it's just they just come in and they just go with roll with the punches, win 60 games, and try to make that next playoff run. But guess what? OKC knows they're chasing history now, right? And if they're chasing history, they're going to be dialed in to every single game. And barring injury, I think that, and I'm not, I think I'm stating the obvious here. We're looking at maybe the greatest team of all time.
Right. So we had the Bulls do it, right? Whenever they went 72-10,
Bulls,
they won
Golden
the
State
ship that year. Golden State did it. They broke the record, but lost the ship.
They didn't win the championship.
Comeback from Cleveland, I believe, right? And then here we go. OKC on pace, should shatter the regular season record, probably by a couple. And then we're going to see this playoff run. So we've seen one team finish, one team not finish. You think they finish? I think.
Oh, yeah. I think
if they get there, I think they finish, right?
Barring injury, it's over.
Do you know what I love about it is Jason Williams was just he interviewed and they were talking about the historic run or whatever.
Thanks for joining us, Tommy. I've never seen your name up in the chat board. We appreciate you listening. Please subscribe.
Yeah, thank you so much. But he says that winning never gets old. He was a part of the team that got blown out by Memphis in like 2021 by 70 or by like 70 or whatever it was. It was like one of the most lopsided beatings, right, in NBA history. And so he was like, we still talk about that, think about that, and that still propels them. Anytime I hear those things, man, that kind of hunger and that kind of like determination is a different motivator. Those are the things, like those are like, you ever had a bad dream? You don't want to have a bad dream again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those guys don't want to go back. They're willing to fight for it. They're not comfortable. Now you're saying they're measuring themselves against, the all-timers right now. So you might as well just put your head down and put it to the grindstone, man. And this is the perfect recipe, I think, for a team to go out and to make history because they're not
crazy.
They're not like just too good and they're not too confident. They're still humble about it. They're young. And I think, like you said, barring injury, bro, it's going to be a really fun finish to watch.
And they might have the first pick next year. They're gonna have two lottery picks.
They get like, what is it?
We're looking at
first
historic
rounders
run.
next year. They still get like multiple first rounders next year. It's like 6 something. It's ridiculous, is what it is.
Clippers are about to sell off. Clippers will be the worst team. They'll have the most balls in there. That is OKC's pick, unprotected. Wow. So we've never seen this in sports history
right now. This might be this might be the best dynasty that we've seen since like the Celtics did it way back when they were with Bill Russell, and just the consistency that they were winning at. Like, this could be set up for a dynasty we haven't seen, where everyone says a dynasty is 3 championships, 3 out of 4 years, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
If this team puts together 4 or 5 within like a 4 or 5 year segment, it's definitely going to be considered one of the greatest teams.
Yeah, I don't know we're witnessing history. It's cool to watch. It's going to be.
We've just never seen a team set up for success in the future like this. Usually everybody's mortgaging picks to bring in a big 3, this and that. These guys have so many picks going forward. They already have everyone signed. Everyone's there. I just don't see how they don't continue to build a juggernaut, dude. I really don't. It just looks unfair, honestly, is what it looks like.
I know. That's crazy. Let's get right. Let's get right.
Talk about that.
No, that's good. While we're witnessing history, it's going to be crazy to see a team in the championship.
So I got a question. With all these NFL storylines, here's my number 1 question. Why are the Patriots and the Bills, one of the top games of the week, scheduled for a 1 p.m. game?
Yeah.
Like, why? Why? It's absolute trash. I think that should be a highlight, a headline. It should be a...
I know. I don't know if it's a rule that you can't have 2 teams play 2 primetime games, because like they played back on Sunday night. It just doesn't make any
sense. It should be flexed. This is one of the biggest games of the week.
Yeah, but remember they played Sunday night like a month ago?
No. It didn't matter.
I don't think you could play. You can't play 2 Sunday night games with the same teams. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's why that's happening. But
can't flex them because they're East Coast. Can't put them at the 4 o'clock, right? You know, I'm just like, can't come up with something here.
Yeah.
1 o'clock game. That's fireworks, man. That game's gonna be so good. There's so much on the line. Obviously, you got Drake May still fighting for MVP. You got the Bills that are running hot, and they just beat the Bengals on that incredible comeback. Now, if you're a Josh Allen owner, you're a Drake May owner this week going in, I don't know if you're super excited about your playoff prospects. But, I mean, at this point, you trust your studs, you start them, and you just hope for fireworks. Last time Drake May played the Bills, that was his worst fantasy output of the year. He didn't.
Yeah, but if you have Drake May, yardage, this is the dream.
Touchdowns. It was just no touchdowns, you know?
Yeah. If you have Drake May, this is the dream situation. This is why you have Drake May. You have to play him. It's I think it is the highest over-under of the week. It's a dream situation. You're at home versus one of the worst defenses in the NFL. MVP versus MVP talk.
Yes.
This is a dream situation. And I think Drake May comes crashing down a little bit, but if you have Drake May this game, you're playing him unless you have another great quarterback. Let's start with the Thursday night game.
All right, man.
You have the Atlanta Falcons.
There's a lot going on in the Honey Pot League with this game. So playoffs are set, and we got the first round. The Bucks are kind of reeling right now, and they're playing a team that obviously has a very solid ground game. And the Bucks, trenches have not been the best lately. I'm a little nervous for the Bucks in this spot. I expect them to win, but I'm also like Mike Evans is officially back, right?
Yeah.
You have McMillan officially back. They're off. They're playing, so they'll be complimenting Igboku. You got Bucky, you got White, you got Baker. I mean, you got enough pieces. It's a short week. I hope they come out motivated. If you remember this game last year, they put up a really extravagant Thursday night game. It was a shootout. That was the game.
It was
Kirk
in
Cousins
Atlanta.
dropped
It was
like
in
a 50
Atlanta.
bomb. It went nuts. So I'm wondering.
It was in Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering if this is going to kind of follow the same storyline. Do you know how the weather is in this game?
Yeah, we're in it.
This is it, right? So the weather is going to be beautiful, man. Go Bucks, dude. They need a big win. This is a huge game for them just because Carolina's nipping at their heels. They got to get right. I think I don't know. If you got Baker, obviously you got to start Baker. And I know he's been kind of reeling. If you got Ibuka, you got to start Ibuka right now. the targets are still there. You don't want to shy away. He hasn't had any great games recently. He dropped that easy touchdown last week, which is just like they're going to keep going back to him. Whenever your guy drops it, he's still double-digit target averaging, man. Even with Mike Evans
beautiful
there.
Bearded. Thank you for listening, buddy. I haven't seen your name in the chat. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate all the support.
You like the Bucs?
I'm excited for this game. I mean, you got must starts with Bucky Irving.
Baker Mayfield's a must. Somebody just said I like the over for sure.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's a must start. That over under does seem.
Do you start Mike Evans?
I wouldn't, but I think they're going to ease him back a little bit, especially with a broken collarbone.
If you're like dying for a flex, I'm like, Mike Evans and Baker have this touchdown connection. I'd be looking at an anytime touchdown.
Appreciate you, buddy.
For Mike Evans, at least just one. He might have a stat line that's like 3 catches, 44 yards, 1 tutty. You know what I mean? It's going to be like, it could be a 5-yard fade route, something like that. They love to get Mike Evans involved at the end zone. I'm definitely thinking
Egbuka could have had 2 touchdowns last game. One was a pretty blatant drop.
Right.
You're definitely starting Bucky. I'm definitely starting Baker unless you have a decent matchup. I think this is going to be an offensive game. Bucs have some of their weapons back, and the Bucs are real, and they have to win this game. Falcons, no Drake London. That's a big deal, especially I'm going against Kyle Pitts, and I'm a little nervous about that. But Darnell Moon, I mean, there's guys all over this field that you have to play.
All right, I got a real question for you because this is a situation that is very realistic because I have to play. This is one of the leagues that I cannot squeeze by with a bye. So I got Amon-Ra St. Brown. I got A.J. Brown. I got McConkey, and I got Egbuka. Okay. I have a hard time fitting in Egbuka because I have Javonte Williams, McCaffrey, and Judkins. Right? I also still have Devin Neal. I'm not starting him. I need to fit Egbuka in there. Do you start Egbuka over A.J. Brown? Do you start Egbuka over Javonte Williams? You can't start him over Amon-Ra. Over Judkins maybe at Chicago. I don't think so.
It's a good team. Yeah, you might bench Egbuka there.
That's all I'm looking at, and I just wanted to run that by you.
With Mike Evans back,
100%.
You might bench Egbuka. Dustino posted earlier, Bucky over 84.5 total yards, and Cousins are throwing interception.
We want all your fantasy start sit questions, guys. Throw them in, put them in the chat. Let's go over them all. We want every scenario. We want to make sure you're getting W's this week.
You're benching Mike Evans there. You're benching Mike Evans there. I'm starting Justin Jefferson, JSN, and Sutton. Let's watch.
100%.
Yeah, let's watch Mike Evans for a game or two. Now,
what do you think about
remember with Egbuka, he blossomed when Evans was in.
It's true.
And Egbuka's that slot guy that Baker loves to throw to. So Baker, those guys being in, of course, takes a target share away a little bit, but that just gives Baker more options, and it lets Egbuka operate out of the slot. Him and Godwin will be rotating that. Obviously, Mike Evans out wide, one-on-one deep balls and jump balls. But I'm interested to see. I'm a little surprised. I mean, if the Bucs weren't spiraling downhill, I don't think Mike Evans plays on a short week, right?
Sure,
they would just wait one more. It's not a short week for him, but it's a short week for the Bucs. They wait one more week. But I think that they're like, hey, we need all hands on deck. We got to win this game. Falcons-Bucs played week 1, and the Falcons missed a field goal. That's kind of a part of the reason why the Bucs won. And the Bucs have not looked good. They need all hands on deck to win this game, Yeah. But, I think it's going to be a great game to watch. We're blessed with 2 Thursday night games back-to-back. We had Dallas-Detroit last week. Detroit put it to them. This week, Falcons at Bucs. Bucs are the home team. Perfect weather. We're sitting in it right now. It's going to be 55, 60 degrees, light breeze.
Absolutely.
Perfect football weather.
I'd say you're going to hear chiming NFC or NBC football bells. That's all I hear. Moving on, we do have a few 1 o'clock games to break down before we get to some of the good ones. You got the Ravens and Bengals. Obviously, the Ravens still fighting. Bengals are pretty much cooked. It's a must-win for the Ravens. I think the Bengals love to play spoiler right here. Higgins is in a concussion protocol. Jamar Chase historically rakes the Ravens. Burrow's back. I think this game, the line is set at 52.5 at this game, right? So
Joe Burrow came out and said, "You have to have fun playing the game. I'm not having fun right now," and like was not hinting towards retirement, but it was like kind of like that a little bit of that Andrew Luck kind of vibes he was giving
yep.
out. And I put it a lot on the play calling and on Joe Burrow a little bit. They were just showing highlights on ESPN of him getting sacked. Almost every time it was a coverage sack. Now, the Bengals are known, they make no bones about it. They don't match protect. That's not what they want to do. Burrow wants 5 targets at all times. So Burrow wants his running back to go out in the backfield. He wants to see the defense, and that's just the way that's the way to tailor it all. Then that's the way they call the plays. So the Bengals either got to switch it up, or Burrow has to get the ball out quicker, kind of like how Andy Reid gets Mahomes involved, right?
Yeah, Wu-Tang says is Burrow a Bengal next season. I think he is a Bengal next season. They just signed his homies. He's not going anywhere. He's got the best wide receiver tandem arguably in the league. I mean, I don't think he's leaving.
Yeah, I mean, they just signed that contract. You don't once you go through the whole Burrow and you're paying Burrow, you're paying Chase, you're paying Higgins. You keep them all 3, and you try to build a young nucleus around them, a young, strong trenches around them, and you build a young defense. Yeah, you do what the Chiefs had a recipe for 5-6 years. You draft all your defense, and you sign your offensive stars.
Now this is what I was excited to talk about. You're talking about week 1 in the playoffs, and you get the Bengals defense. If you're a Raven, Derrick Henry owners, Mark Andrews is getting auto starts this week.
Do you start Lamar Jackson?
I mean, I think you have to. No matter how bad he's been, you have to. And I think it's against the worst defense in the NFL. Jackson has definitely played well against the Bengals in the past. And if you have him, you obviously spent a 3rd or a 4th round pick for this very reason. You were probably looking at this all year long thinking this is a cupcake matchup. And you're gifted the last place defense in your 1st round playoff matchup. That's a gift. You have to start your Ravens.
Yeah, you start the Ravens. Now, Seven Springs, you're right. Burrow, I thought that he did not get portrayed very well in that documentary. I thought he kind of came across as a mama's boy, which is okay, but came across as a guy that isn't going to be a film rat. He isn't going to be a gym rat. He isn't going to be one of those guys. He's going to be kind of like a Trevor Lawrence. They're blessed with talent, and they love the game. But they're not gonna get outworked. You know what I mean? Now, Wu-Tang, you want to talk about that Diddy documentary? We'll talk about that.
Hold on, TJ. I know you've seen it. You watched it. You were riveted.
I watched the first day it came out. I mean, it's very interesting stuff. You know what pissed me off the most about that Diddy documentary is, all right, you treat women like shit. That has kind of been an MO in the hip hop scene, and
they've always had problems with derogatory language towards women and how they respect them, right?
So I get that aspect of it. I don't, but I do. But the thing that pissed me off about Diddy is he don't pay his people.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like, you're not a guy that's
with so much money.
You have so much money. You have limited talent when it comes to music talent. Sure. Like, he obviously is very good as a manager. He manages people. He brings people in. But you don't pay your people, and then your best friend dies in Biggie, and he pays for his funeral out of the money that he's raking in after he's dead. That turned me off about P. Diddy. I at least thought, hey, he's a piece of shit, but he pays his homeboy.
I'm still on the camp that he ordered the hit on Biggie, but I mean, we can all.
And a lot of people say he was part of the Tupac Suge attempted 100%. assassination and the Biggie stuff. And those stuff are rumors, but the facts are P. Diddy does not pay his boys. Right. That sucks. That is a shitty way to be I would be so if I was watching it and I was trying to watch it through P. Diddy's lenses, and that would irritate. I'd be like, whoa, man, these are people that I grew up with. These are his people. These aren't new people. These are people that knew him since grade school.
Right, from New York.
And they are all saying the one thing P. Diddy doesn't do is there was one time that now you don't know the full story, but there was a lady, she was in a bad situation. It was one of his exes, but they were still real close. And I'll tell you why in a minute why they were real close. And she hits up P. Diddy for $5,000. Pete Diddy goes, I just don't got that kind of cash right now. Click. Now, guess what? When P. Diddy was staying in a hotel room in New York, about to get arrested, he knew it was coming any day. He needed a testimonial from a woman, and he couldn't get it. So who does he call? He calls this girl, and he goes, "Hey, I need you to do me a favor. Can you write like a 2-page document saying that I always treated women great?" This is a lady she said she was down on her luck, couldn't feed her children. He hit you up for $5,000. And you couldn't do that. And now
you're like,
asking
hey, I need you to do me this favor.
Yeah. Just the kind of guy he is, man. I understand moving up in the world, you got to fuck people over. But, you hear the stories about Irsay. And you see Pat McAfee giving his own money.
Let's just clarify that. Moving up in the world, some people choose to fuck people over.
Yep.
Other people choose to bring people with them. And we're the type of dudes that bring people with us, and we pay our homies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the way it goes.
And then Irsay is also a guy that always, McAfee said, if you ever needed to borrow money or needed help or something,
it's not even $5.
Exactly. Yeah. You call Irsay and he's going to be, But now you don't know with that story how many times that girl's hit up P. Diddy. That could have been the 10th time in 10 days, right? You don't know that. And there's probably two sides to that story.
Scotty
no tip and Pippen.
I know he's got a bad reputation too, especially in the hospitality industry. If I ever saw Scottie Pippen, I'd give his fucking table away faster than you could sit there and pick up a $20 bill. Swear to God.
Yeah.
I want no smoke. All right. So anyways, what a great little sidebar that was. Moving on to obviously start your Ravens. Let's talk about this. Let's just get this on the table. So I was looking it over. Okay, the Chiefs still have a shot. I was really looking it over, and everyone was saying we were talking about the Chiefs being.
Yeah, they got to win out.
So the
Chiefs
10 and Chargers. They play each other this week. Chiefs and Chargers, massive game. Chiefs obviously have to win. After they play the Chargers, then the Chiefs get the Titans, the Broncos. They got to obviously win out, and the Raiders. So 3 out of 4 divisional, they get to reel them all in. Now the Chargers on the flip side, obviously they play the Chiefs, then they play the Cowboys. Cowboys need to win out, and we get them at home, right? Go Cowboys. Then they get the Texans. Texans are hot right now, hottest defense in the league. And then they finish with the Broncos. I'm going to tell you right now, this is what I'm going to say, and people want to talk about anything they want. I think the Chargers don't make the playoffs. I think the Chiefs sneak in. Looking at it on paper, there's a very realistic shot. Obviously, people got to handle their business. Cowboys got to beat them in a week or whatever. Chiefs still got to beat them this week. They still got to lose to the Broncos. But looking at it on paper, there's a very real path for the Chiefs to still make it in. I know that we always have the Hulsmans following, and one of their sons is a huge Chiefs fan. Just let them know, man. Chiefs still got a shot. It's not over yet.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll see what happens there, right? I think that I still always have Chiefs up there. If they make the playoffs, they can win it all. The problem is that division is so stacked. Automatically, let's assume the Bills and Patriots are in. I think we could assume the Jaguars are in. I think the Texans are going to make it in.
Phillip Rivers, Colts we'll talk about that, but Colts probably end up.
But you're saying Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos. Chargers are the ones left out. I would agree with you before Monday night, but after they beat the Eagles at home, they just have to win one more.
Right. And it's Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, Broncos. Cowboys is their most winnable game, right? And they're getting us in Dallas.
Yeah, I just think the Chargers being 9-4, I don't see how they don't make it in.
They lose 4, and then the Chiefs end up, and they get the tiebreaker.
Yeah, but you're right. Those 4 games are so tough that they could lose 4 in a row, and they go 9-7 or 9-8.
Break it down. When you're playing Chiefs, Texans, Broncos, you're like, okay, those are obviously more formidable defenses, and then you get the Cowboys in there who are an offensive juggernaut, and they haven't played well on the road. So I'm just saying, I think the Cowboys have a great chance to win out.
2 cupcakes too. Yeah, the Chiefs have 2 cupcakes. Yeah, that's a good take. They got to go 10-7. They got to win out. But let's go off topic really quick. If you combine the Jets and Giants rosters, how many wins do they have? I don't know. Yeah. Well, think about that for a second.
The Giants have lost some real crucial games.
Garrett Wilson and let's say Garrett Wilson. Yeah, but that's a problem. Garrett Wilson and Neighbors aren't healthy. All right.
Right.
let's keep it going. But that's crazy talk, Wu-Tang. But
yeah, I just want to sit there and bring up those scenarios. Obviously, you do have the Jets and the Jags. This is a great spot for the Jaguars first week of the playoffs. Jets, you have all their quarterbacks like probably not starting. It's going to be that kid Cook or whoever he is coming out, and it looks like he's going again at the Jags. The Jags defense has been balling. Have you noticed this?
they go to the Super Bowl, Wu-Tang, if they're all healthy. You have Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, Wan'Dale Robinson, Brees Hall.
Cam. Oh, you're talking about what are these? What is he saying?
If the Giants and Jets combine rosters.
Oh, if they
but
combine rosters.
I think that I want to ask you this because Caton was asking me this question. You think Brees Hall is in a positive situation this week or negative? Obviously, they're going with their third string quarterback, right? In what's his name?
Cook, right? Something Cook.
Bryce Cook or something like that. Brandon, like that. Not Brandon, but something Cook.
Not Brandon.
And they're going to have to feed Brees Hall. And what did third string quarter Brady Cook? What did third? I knew it was a BR. What do third string quarterbacks like to do? They like to check down. I can see Brees Hall playing from behind, having like a 10-catch game. You know what I'm trying to say?
That's always what I envisioned for Brees Hall, was to be able to catch the ball and break the big one. They just never seem to like touch into his skill bag. You know what I mean? I do like this spot for Brees Hall, and they should.
Yeah, Brees
Hall.
I
don't like him for rushing intents and purposes, but maybe he pops one because he's got that kind of potential. But the Jags they're like the top rush defense in the league, and nobody really runs the ball in the Jags. They all rush the tacklers. I think it's a bad matchup maybe for.
I'm pretty sure that's the biggest spread of the day, and it was 13. Now it's 13.5. People are pounding Jacksonville. People are thinking it's going to be a 35-10 game.
If you got Jags defense, you're probably very happy now rolling them out. I would definitely be starting them with utmost confidence.
Yeah, let me make sure that my guy doesn't have the Jaguars defense on that note.
I'm telling you, you do not want to play anybody with the Jags D this week. There is real potential right there. Defense. And that could get you right in and upset a 3 seed, like whatever. Those are the things that happen.
Tune into Dustino Friday nights, 6:30. Guys, a one-man show, one-man wrecking ball. Jags D. Gene, you just heard it. Jags D. Jags D all the way.
No, Eagles D do get the Raiders.
No, yeah, and I'm happy to have them. But Jags D, man.
But Jags
third
D
string quarterback.
You have the choice.
At home.
100%. There's a lot of dogs here, bro. I'm not really liking. I mean, you got the Browns and the Bears. The Browns are trying to play spoilers. Shador starting.
I definitely like the Browns plus 7.5 in that game.
100%.
Definitely like the Browns there. I think the Bears can't stop the run. Shador just threw for 365.
I like the over too. I think that's way too low for me personally. I mean, I would definitely take that. I think Shador lights it up. Harold Fannin Jr., Judkins, Judy. These are all guys, right? The Bears. How do you feel about the Bears running back situation this week against the Browns? You just saw Tony Pollard absolutely obliterate him. So, like, for everybody who was kind of stifling their running backs against the Cleveland Browns D, maybe you don't stifle as much this week. Maybe you kind of reevaluate and start with a little more confidence.
Yeah, I think Pollard busted the Browns. Yeah, I think Pollard busted a long one, but I can see the Browns defense this week kind of stepping up. I don't see, I think they ran Myles Garrett.
It's obviously going to be awful weather or cold or
miserable, it's going to be windy in the Windy City, stating the obvious there. But yeah, Shador has shown he's weatherproof. He's a first-round talent. Everybody dropped the ball on the guy, and now look, he comes in. And he started 2 games or 3 games?
He started 2 games, was in a third game, played a half. And
he's responsible for like the 7.
He's got like 800 yards almost, 5 tutties and 3 picks. And like 2
and he's responsible
games.
For the 7 longest throws of the Browns season.
Team for the season, right?
Yeah, like what are we doing here? Like Stefanski might lose his job over this too because he's just
would you start Shador this week as a streaming quarterback if you were to would you start? All right, let's play the devil's advocate here, okay? Would you start Shador Sanders over a CJ Stroud or Jacoby Brissett?
No, not over CJ Stroud because Texans at home versus the Cardinals.
Right.
That's a very favorable game.
Would you start Shador Sanders over Jalen Hurts at the Raiders?
Yeah, you can't do that either. I mean, and also this is playoff
You
time.
start Shador
so
Sanders over the Seahawks, Sam Darnold.
No way. I don't care who they're playing.
Home against the Colts. You start Shador Sanders over Jordan Love at the
Yeah, I'm not
Broncos.
starting Shador. I'm not starting Shador yet. And this is the playoff. Your whole life is on the line here. And if you're in the playoffs, there's a very good chance.
Shador over Jordan Love at the Broncos.
I mean,
I just want to make some tough cases. Now I want to make some decent cases.
Yeah, that maybe. But Jackson Dart lit up the Broncos for, Mariota lit up the Broncos. I mean, I don't know if the Broncos defense is as good as they say, but Shador looks great. You're not starting him yet in fantasy, especially in the playoffs, but Shador looks good.
I think there's a couple scenarios where people are probably looking at Shador like, oh God, I might have to start.
But yeah, if you're desperate, I know Jeff hasn't had a quarterback all year. If you're desperate, but I don't know if this is the game you do it versus the Bears.
I mean, he's weatherproof is the only reason why I was saying.
Yeah. He looks great.
You got Commanders and Giants. No Jaden Daniels, Mariota, right?
Yeah.
It's a divisional game. They're both playing for peanuts. It's just all pride and organizational hate and disdain for each other. The Giants, I like their prospects in this game to score, right? Like this is kind of like one of those things. It's not a great game in real life, but fantasy purposes, there's definitely some scoring out of this game.
Yeah, Kafka has to get a win. Also, from Johnny T and a couple of other New York Giants insiders, they're saying Kafka will not be brought back. So you don't want to take over for a team and not get a win. This is their best chance to get a win. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think that I'm rolling out Jackson Dart for my first round of the playoffs in my big league, and I just hope he plays 4 quarters. That's all I really care about. I am nervous about that because it just takes one hit. You know what I mean? But I just hope Dart plays the full game, and whatever happens, happens. I have Tyrone Tracy too. I'm going to start Jackson Dart and Tyrone Tracy. Dustino says he loves Tyrone Tracy. I don't know if I love
Tracy's ready to go. Jackson Dart, I like him on an anytime touchdown for sure. He's usually good for 1 a game. He missed out on his last game, so I'm definitely marking him in for this one.
Commanders can't stop a nosebleed right now, so I'm hoping the Giants just move the ball at will.
Scary Terry should be heavily targeted in that game. Obviously, they did lose Ertz for the remainder of the season. Krosky, Merritt, Christian Rodriguez. If you're starting these guys in your fantasy lineup in your first round of the playoffs, good luck, man.
Did you see the hit? Did you see the hit on Zach Ertz?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that might be one of the worst hits I've ever seen. Like,
and he cried, bro. He was in tears. He knows his career's over, man. The guy, obviously, legend, great tight end with the Eagles, married to Julie Foudy, whatever. One of the athletic, happily ever ending story times that you ever hear. The guy's just blessed, gifted, amazing. And you hate to see such a competitor who loves the game so much go out with such a brutal injury like that. Because at his age and recovery rate, he's out this year, probably mid to late season next year. Maybe he comes back as like a fill-in for a playoff run. I don't know. Good luck to you, Ertz, but that was true.
Well, yeah, Ertz will be out at least a year and a half. I mean, he had a great career.
Yeah.
Raiders,
he would be
Raiders,
back
Eagles
for next year's playoffs if somebody could sign him or something like that. All right, yeah. Raiders, Eagles. We kind of talked about it. Eagles have to win this game for the Cowboys.
Eagles are not losing this game at home, right? They'll be 9.
The Cowboys need them too. This is kind of a get-right game for the Eagles on every front, right? Sirianni should be able to throw the entire playbook at him. You should see Saquon, AJ. It should be good times rolling. Jalen Hurts running around doing his thing. A little bit of sprinkle on Goddard here, there, everywhere. Devontae Smith down the field. I don't know. I kind of like the Eagles just to run it up, take the over. I like them laughing. I just have a feeling the Eagles usually, and I said this last week, and when they lost, I talked to Matt Sharkey before the game. I said the Eagles play down to their competition. They don't destroy the teams they should beat, and they sit there and they always meddle whenever they're playing these bad teams. I don't see that happening this week. It's the first time that I see them running away with it, right? They've literally played one
I'm surprised it's only 11.5, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 100%. But I do like the Eagles, hammer them. Saquon, fantasy, Devontae Smith, fantasy. I'm starting A.J. Brown. I told you over at Buka because I think that it's huge. A.J. Brown's been hot. Jalen Hurts, Definitely got to do his thing. If you're the Raiders, you start Brock Bowers. Do you start Genty? Obviously, you have to. You don't love it, and he's not like the first round pick that you ever envisioned. And how nice that we saw him looking in the preseason. But yeah, if you have Genty and you're in the playoffs, good for you. Means you drafted well in other places, We'll move right on from that
for
game.
sure.
You got anything else you want to say about that game?
No, Colts Seahawks. I think that
Colts Seahawks.
Yeah, this
Phillip
is a huge game.
Phillip Rivers, he's back. You mentioned it. Grandpa's balling. He loves the boa ties. It's not a real tie. It's just like the two strings. Yeah. He doesn't curse, but he talks hella shit. You know what I mean? He's like one of the biggest trash talkers in NFL history, but he doesn't curse. So I always wonder what that sounds like on the field. You know what I mean? Like as it goes, because quality trash talk can be very colorful. You know what I mean? But when he's over here, maybe it's just got to be about your play, calling you garbage, trash, whatever. I just think it's hilarious. And if Phillip Rivers comes out and beats you, like Sam Darnold is going to be taking shots. But I don't think this is a game that Sam Darnold has to be great. I think this is Seattle's time to let their D shine. This is going to be Sam, like just kind of game managing, not losing the game is how I foresee it. But this is a game where the line is at -14. The disrespect is there.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in the Colts.
Yeah, Colts unfortunately are going to be done. They lost their quarterback. I didn't really know this, but Phillip Rivers has mentored Riley Leonard and has worked with him in the offseason. I think that was a big reason why they brought him on board. I don't think Phillip Rivers is starting, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Riley Leonard will be the guy.
He's officially signed to the team.
Yeah, he's on the practice squad, but they had to bring in a backup just in case someone gets hurt, obviously. I think they're just only putting 2 quarterbacks on the roster.
So that's interesting that he is like his mentor, and to have that guy watching things happen live and dissecting it. I mean, he's getting 14 points and you're playing a nasty defense at the 12. This game should be – you remember back in the day when they had the Legion, boom, and they were just putting – like the defense was putting up 40 bombs? This could be one of those games, right? Like, woof.
The specimen, if you have Tyrone Tracy, pick up Tyrone Tracy. And you start Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone Tracy's a beast. You got to pick him up, go play him, go. You might,
especially at the Commanders, bro. Playing home against the Commanders. But no, I do like the Seahawks to run away with it. If you're the Colts this week, like I don't have Jonathan Taylor actually starting this week, which is a blessing. That's going to be kind of tough. They're definitely going to stop them. It's going to be a tough start. Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren, these are tough guys to start. You might have to and just see what you get. But yeah, the Seahawks, you love starting everybody. JSN, love it. Darnold.
Unfortunately, JSN's probably going to have another game where he doesn't play in the fourth quarter again.
100%. Right, yeah.
And I think he's at 1,400 yards.
Already, yeah. It's crazy. There's a couple of records, like the Myles Garrett sack record seems like it's a matter of time. JSN just looks like he's clearly going for 2,000 yards, and he's going to miss something like a total of 4 games by all the fourth quarters that he misses. I mean, maybe really like 2 or 3 games, but I'm just saying, like, it sounds like he's missing every single fourth quarter. You quantify that for 17 games, you're just like, are you serious? It's unbelievable.
Now, Packers, Broncos, these are both teams, both playing for buys.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think. I never would imagine the Packers and the Broncos having buys. I just would have thought the Eagles or the Lions or the Bills, the Ravens on the other side. But Packers, Broncos, both playing for buys in their respective divisions. I mean, the Bears had the bye last week, and now they're the 7th seed, and they're fighting for their playoff hopes. Packers, a little stronger, I think, than the Bears. They handled the Bears last week, even though the Bears played good. This is going to be an interesting game. I have no clue what's going to happen here, but both defenses are pretty stout. But I could also see both quarterbacks having a good game. Vegas is thinking more of a low-scoring game at 42 and a half.
42.5.
I don't know what to make of it, but it should be fun to watch. You have great defenses. Or I don't know about great, but
it's in Denver. Kind of crazy too, right? Because the Packers going there, they both play cold weather. They're both defense running game type teams, so
Yeah.
it's like they match up just like kind of the same. It's a playoff feel game for sure. Like these are two obvious playoff contenders. I'm not saying it's a Super Bowl preview, but it could be. You know what I mean? Like you never know. And Jordan Love in his 27 season continues this whole 27 trend of how everybody for the Packers, great quarterbacks, were all 27 when they won those Super Bowls. Here's Jordan Love continuing to handle business on the 27 train. The Broncos at home, taking the Broncos is what it is. I'll take the Broncos.
Yeah, 49ers, Titans, no need to talk about that game. Panthers, Saints.
If you have McCaffrey this week, obviously the Titans have kind of played a little bit of meddling run defense a little bit, but you got to love McCaffrey starting this week. And
San Fran, this is another almost 2-touchdown favorite. Kind of crazy. Has to be the first time this year that we've had so many favorites in double digits.
Yeah.
Both.
There's a lot of stinker games out there, matchup wise per se.
Yeah, you got Lions at the Rams. This game, Lions are fighting for their playoff hopes.
This is a badass game right here.
Rams had a little bit of a disappointing game. I'm excited to have. I got Parkinson as tight end. I also have Gibbs going as my running back. You want every bit of this game as you could find, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Blake Corum has become a thing with Kyron Williams, right? Blake Corum is obviously showing that burst and everything. I never thought he was that fast in Michigan, but I watched him break out last week, and obviously he's continuing to develop his skill set, but he looks quicker. He looks faster.
It's a nightmare situation. It's a nightmare situation for you. Yeah, it's specimen. I think that Goff will have a good game. I'm hoping he throws the ball to Gibbs, but this is going to be an offensive showdown, an offensive juggernaut. But I see
Rams got a top 5 defense. The Lions obviously are playing for their life. It's an indoor game, right? It's
55 and a half, another over-under.
They're expecting
this is indoors. Yeah.
I mean, Matt Stafford's definitely throwing 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like
I picked up the Rams tight end, Parkinson. That's his name, right? Parkinson. Off the waiver wire just to start him because I just want as many players as I could find in this game.
I'm against Gibbs. Good luck, buddy. Because Gibbs is about to go get some right now, man. Boys.
All right, we have a new commenter here. ZD's been on the wrong side of Baker and Jettas lately. It's do or die time with the playoffs. Do I ride or die with my big dogs or swap them for Goff and Devontae Smith?
Baker.
Wouldn't be shocked if the big dogs finally turn around this week and they're stuck on my bench and my season's over. All right, so this is your first week of playoffs. You've been a little unlucky, it sounds like, but you've been good enough to make the playoffs. You must have a pretty good team behind you. I think you got to start. You got to start Goff.
I like Goff over Baker for sure, dude.
Devontae Smith, I don't love this week just because they're going to have the league early and often, and they're not going to have to be playing from behind. Yeah, Devontae Smith could always break out, and I always say receivers go like this. So Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown was heavily targeted last game, so I can see Devontae Smith getting more targets this game. But I don't I'm definitely starting Goff.
I'm starting Goff over Baker if you're giving me that choice.
Over Baker.
Yep.
Even though we said we love Baker this game, Goff is in a dream situation.
They're going to be behind, man. They got to keep up.
Baker. Let me see something really quick.
What are you looking up? Would it be Shard?
I don't think you bench Jefferson though, right?
Oh, it's Jettas is Jefferson.
I'm assuming that, right?
All right, yeah, it has to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to.
I've heard a lot of nicknames though. Jettas, I haven't really heard that much, but I figure it's just Jefferson. Okay. You're definitely starting Jefferson and you're starting Goff. Roll with that. Let us know how you do on Tuesday. Come back on the show and let us know how you do. But Goff, it's a higher. So look, ZDs, a couple things I look at when I'm in your situation to make my deciding.
You got to start Jefferson anyways. They're playing Dallas this week. Yeah, like 100%. And we got one of the worst defenses, and McCarthy's looking good. That offense is definitely sitting. This is a matchup. If you're looking at Justin Jefferson to finally cash you out, this is it. I know he's been ass cheeks, but guess what? You're playing the Cowboys. You see that star right there, bro? People light us up. It is what it is. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's in a good environment. The Cowboys are going to score. I will say the Vikings have been a bugaboo for quarterbacks in fantasy this year. I am starting Dak against the Vikings. Would you start JJ McCarthy over Dak? Of course not. You got to start Dak and run it all the way to the ground, baby. Like, Dak's going to sit there and have a decent game against the Vikings.
So we have Dustino telling us Addison has a little bit of an injury bug. Now, ZDs, when you're breaking this down in your mind, let's say for the future, first thing you want to look at is where is the game being played, right? The second thing I like to look at is over-unders. Well, who's got the higher over-under? Third thing I like to look at is what is my opposing team's offense look like? So look at Devontae Smith and Jefferson. Who's got a better offense? The Cowboys or the Raiders, right? You want to play against a better opposing offense because you want to be playing from behind when you have a quarterback or receiver. When you have a running back, you usually want to be playing from ahead. So I like to look at those three things. Where are they playing as far as weather? Also, Baker, Thursday night game, short week. We all know anything can happen. Baker's going to get you more rushing yards, but Goff could have a 350-yard, 4-touchdown game. The Jefferson over Devontae Smith is an easy decision. Baker and Goff
is
a little closer just because of Baker's rushing yards and rushing touchdown capability. And the way Gibbs and Montgomery could sometimes steal touchdowns. Yeah, you're right. Cousins hasn't been great in primetime, Gene, but also Cousins last year, Thursday night, threw for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Against the Bucs.
And Buff actually called that before the game, and I laughed at him, and then he was right. So, but thanks for listening, guys. Let's keep on bouncing around really quick. Vikings, Cowboys, we talked about. That's going to be another offensive shootout. You would love to have a piece of this game. CeeDee Lamb is going to be out, right?
Pickens is riding out. Yep. Flournoy is if you're in a playoff situation, you need a desperate play. Flournoy is a flyer for you. Ceiling through the roof. Dak loves him. If they cover Pickens and everyone's talking shit about Pickens now running through double teams, Flournoy's got a ball. So I'm just letting you know, if you need a waiver wire and you're like praying to the gods, man, he's as good as dart throw as any. This game, I do like I like the Cowboys on the over. I like us playing well against the Vikings, even though they've been all right. This is a win-out scenario for us, and I think we go out either fighting to the very end and throwing the entire time. I don't think we get blown out, and I don't think we get embarrassed. I'm gonna tell you that.
I mean, I'm gonna say this: Jefferson's gonna have the best game of his season.
100%. This is a Jefferson game this week, dude. I think he lights us up, bro.
I hope you're still there, ZDs. This is like the spot you dream of for the first round of the playoffs.
If you draft Jefferson as your number one pick, you looked at week 15, you said the Cowboys. You're like, he's going to fall.
Yeah. Now, listen, also, guys, week 15 is when most playoffs start, right? And when you're drafting, I sometimes like to look at week 15.
Yes, the playoffs.
So if I'm debating between an Amon-Ra St. Brown, which that's a bad example because he has a great matchup too, but when you start breaking it down and you're really trying to figure out who do you want, this guy or this guy, just scroll really quick to week 15 and look at their matchups, look at where it is. Because if it's in Pittsburgh or in Cleveland or in Chicago, those might not be in Philly. Those might not be places you want to play. In Dallas or in Minnesota or, in Dallas or in LA, in Detroit.
Detroit, right. These indoor stadiums.
That's where you want to be. So,
especially this time of year, you're also trying to find those weaker schedules, defenses, yada, yada.
Now, Dolphins, Steelers are Monday night.
You got to expect to make the playoffs and always plan for week 15. You're going to make it. Play like you're making it.
Dolphins at Steelers. I'm excited for this game.
Dolphins have a chance.
McDaniels and Tua have been coaching for their jobs. And this could be something that puts them there because they have to win a tough game, right? They've beat some cupcakes recently. They beat the Saints.
And they beat the Jets last week in cold weather. Remember, with an easy A-chain. Now that's the big topic of this game, but go ahead.
The last 3 games, they've beaten the Commanders barely, the Saints barely, and they've beat the Jets, right? So this could be actually a game where we see what they're really what they're worth, right? Pittsburgh's not amazing, but Pittsburgh's good. It's in
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
Is in a must-win situation too,
and Pittsburgh's in a must-win. And Pittsburgh Steelers fans, when they're looking, Omar Collin, they're looking at their schedule and they're making a playoff run. This is the game they looked at where this is a win, right? This is one that you put a W next to that and move on. I know they're not looking past them because Mikey T doesn't do that, right? But I think that I call him Mikey T because that's what all the players call him. I learned this last week. I didn't know that, but they all call him Mikey T. Mike Tom.
Yeah, we all call him mediocre Mike. You can't just call him mediocre Mike. You know what I mean? That's the bias. No, I definitely think A-Chain is a watch right now. If you do have A-Chain, it was my suggestion if you watch this on Tuesday to go out and get Wright. Because if Wright just plugs in and A-Chain does end up being out for a game or two, that's a difference maker right there. I even used a waiver wire on him in the Honeypot League just to kind of see how it shakes out because that's just gold if it does happen. A-Chain's a tough dude. I'm not expecting him to miss. But yeah, I would definitely make sure that you go out and grab him for sure.
You gotta wait till the Sunday. You gotta wait till this the Sunday mornings. Also, I know that's a Monday night game, but if you think A-Chain is definitely out, then maybe you try to find someone else but Jalen Wright. But if you think it's close, you have a great little spot right there. You just take A-Chain out, put Jalen Wright in, and you're going to be getting – there's a very good chance he gets you like 10 points, right? 38 yards and a touchdown, 2 catches for 22 yards. You know what I mean? That's going to equal.
Yeah, make sure you put him in your flex.
14.
That's a classic move. If you ever have a roster decision to make, please take him out of your main wide receiver or running back position slot and insert them into your flex so you can always swap that out. And I hate these flexes. I play in this stupid league where one of the flexes is wide receiver, running back, tight end. The other flex is only wide receiver or tight end. You can't put in a running back.
Oh, that's crazy.
I absolutely hate it. It handcuffs me. It's such a stupid league. It's not my league, but whatever. Yeah, anyways, you definitely got to make sure you give yourself that opportunity to be able to have.
Yeah, always your toughest
Steelers
decision.
handle business. Steelers run game. Are you starting Gainwell?
I'm not. I'm going. We're in a double flex league, guys. Not a super flex, but a double flex. I got Gibbs, Judkins, ETN, Tyrone Tracy. Those are the 4 backs I'm starting.
Tracy over Gainwell.
Yeah, and then I'm going to start Jackson Dart, and I'm going to start Parkinson at tight end. My tight end spot, since I made some trades, has been a little loosey-goosey this year, and I'm hoping the Eagles' defense can put up a 15 to 20 spot for me versus the Raiders at home. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, you're trying
going against a juggernaut.
You're trying to put a projection this week and then see what happens. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to meet your projection. If you get over that, then you're blessed. But you got to match your projections. Give yourself a really good floor in the playoffs.
I'm hoping Jackson Dart hits a wheel route.
You got to trust your floor and don't just chase the ceiling. Trust your floor in the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, ETN and Judkins, I'm expecting big things out of. Both playing really close games. No, I'm sorry. The Browns game will be close. Jaguars will be blowing them out. I'm hoping ETN gets some freebies. That backfield's been a little tumultuous. Last week, ETN kind of took over, I think. I know he had a good game, but let me see
Tutton had a bad fumble, or Tootin, and as soon as he fumbled that ball, they just put in ETN. That
really helped me.
That was such a big break for you when that happened, dude. That was massive.
Let me see. I'm really curious to see though the carry differential.
Tootin. Yeah, Tootin's usually going to be good. I like Tootin for an anytime.
Yeah, so
this week as well.
ETN had 20 carries. Tootin had 2.
Right.
This is after the week before. ETN had 12. Hold on. Tootin had 8. Wait, let's go back one more. I know they were splitting carries for a
Yes,
while.
they were. Yes, they were.
And actually, Tootin looked a little better.
He had the edge in a couple of games.
Okay, but ETN actually has been doubling his carries for the last couple of weeks.
And then, yes, ETN is the guy. I like Tootin on like a cheap touchdown, but ETN should.
Oh, so Tootin left the game again with an ankle injury. He left the game a week or two ago with an ankle injury also. Kind of came back, but interesting. Okay, so yeah, ETN. I mean, just to think, I got him for Tyler Warren, which at the time, it looked like I took a hit there a little bit. Now, I've been scrambling at tight end, but ETN has put up 20 points a game for me 4 out of 5 weeks.
He really came up and got right for you. And I know Tyson was trying to lean on him early in the year, and it never worked out.
So he tried to lean on him early on. And then listen how fantasy is so funny, right? Tyson's team was looking good. He was looking at maybe hitting two bowls in a row, right? Winning the honey pot. If you win our league 2 years in a row, you win a side pot, which is usually equivalent to 3,000 to 5,000 extra on top of what you win in the pool, right?
Carryover money, baby. That's why it's called honey.
Yeah. The way we build up that side honey pot is with transaction fees and trade everybody. Fees. If you get last place in our league, to come back into the league, you have to almost double your buy-in, right? And that lets you back in the league. If you decide not to pay that, you exit our league. No one has never not paid it. You pay it and you come in. That's if you get last place.
What keeps the bottom team from always tanking. It also keeps the league fresh. So if somebody doesn't want to pay, then they're out, and we have a waiting list for other people who are trying to get in. The waiting list for the honey pot is probably like 5 to 6 people that are interested, that want in. Some people are upset that Overman just kind of snuck right in. I'm glad he made it in.
Well, my cousin Johnny T
on the bye week, man. Like, good for you.
Yeah, my cousin Johnny T wants to get in, and
right, exactly.
The problem is we have to be here live. But he said he'd fly down a heartbeat. We're trying to get him in next year.
It's a live draft. It's stickers. It's tradition.
Yeah, we might be bouncing 1 or 2, and we only charge $1 for transaction fees. But if each team is doing 20 transaction fees, that's an extra $240 that goes into the pot. But whatever. Back to what I was trying to get to is Tyson had Daniel Jones, who was blowing up, maybe MVP talks. Right. He really wanted Tyler Warren to team up that combo. So he took a little bit of a hit. I traded ETN for Tyler Warren, which at that time people criticized me because Tyler Warren was trending upwards, getting 15 points a game as a tight end. But then Daniel Jones gets hurt. He ended up spreading the ball a lot more around with Pittman, with Pierce, with Downs, and I'm missing one other guy. And then obviously Jonathan Taylor. And then you have Tyler Warren. I decided to get rid of that situation. It's just one of those things. But anyways, look at Tyson's. Daniel Jones gets hurt, and now his team, he misses the playoffs.
He missed the playoffs.
And that could have been because of that transaction, which is kind of crazy.
Pot is safe, though. Move that on. Let's go. Before we end up, it's week 15, everybody. Trust your team. Trust your studs. If you have any other questions, you can always hit us up on Prop Stars. We're more than willing to
Empire Pop.
You got out us. There was a little bit of MLB talk. Schwarber signed a big deal. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
I love Schwarber.
I think that was a hometown discount. I thought hometown discount.
I think he's
super happy.
Discount. I think he loves Philly. Philly loves him, and I think he's really blossomed into this perennial all-time hitter. Man, he's incredible.
Also, almost everybody that gets traded to a different team, they don't perform as well, right? Look at Lindor when he went to the Mets. It took him a year or 2 to get going.
It did.
I think it's a different backdrop. Things are different. Schwarber sees the ball really well in Philly. I just can't believe I know he's a DH, but that's a 60 home run a year guy. And you got him for 5 years, $30 million a year, 150. That to me is a hometown discount.
He's probably retiring there, huh? I mean, if you do something like that, it gives me vibes that he's not going to sit there and be like the one-day contract guy to go back to Chicago because he got the ring there. He's going to retire with Philly.
I was surprised the Mets didn't offer Pete Alonso something. They did not even offer him anything. There was no offer.
What do you think about the Alonso situation?
I think it's great for the Orioles. Again, it's not a huge – nowadays, I know it sounds crazy. That's not a huge contract for him. What did Pete Alonso do last year? 45, 50 home runs? I don't know.
He got real hot where he was actually flirting early on with MVP numbers and was one of the best. And then that's when Gene decided to fucking trade him or whatever he did. All I know is, Gene, we were talking about it. You make moves.
38 home
mush
runs.
moves, bro. Those are mush moves when you trade away Judge and Alonso or whatever you did, because you were one of the top teams in our baseball league, and then you literally just shit the bed the whole way down. Mush. That was a mush trade, bro. You don't trade those kind of guys.
Yeah, you know what? Pete Alonso, though, his home run numbers aren't as good as I thought. He had 38, 34, 46, and 40. But you know what's more important to me? He batted 272 last year, and guess what? He played 162 games this year.
He's available, bro.
He played 162 games
is a rarity
last year. Yeah, he played 162 games last year. The year before, he played 154 games. The year before, he played 160 games. The year before that, he played 152 games. So, for the Baltimore Orioles team,
and you know how people talk about the whole you swing too hard, injuries. Bro is built like a brick shit house. He's going to be playing, and Baltimore has a problem with starting anybody. All their guys get hurt, all of them. So here's a guy who can actually sustain in your lineup.
No, super cool. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Good luck in first round of the playoffs.
Hey, I'm out next Tuesday. I hope y'all have a wonderful time filling in. I will be soaking in some sunshine and taking a much-needed little bit of a break. I do have 2 fantasy football matchups I will be watching from afar. And, guys, remember, go out there and start your studs, man. Start your studs. That's my advice.
Start your studs. So how many bye weeks do you have?
I had 4 number 1 seeds. I got 4 bye weeks and then 2 3 seeds.
And how many leagues are you in?
7.
All right, guys, listen to the expert here. I'm just here for the entertainment.
One love.
All right, guys, have a great weekend.
Look out.